Hello and welcome back, everyone. Healthy and happy 2018 to everyone. Uh, so this is the Sprint 76 review of ManageIQ. We're going to go over things that have gone on in the last 3 weeks. So I'll give the overall statistics. Carol will give an update on the community. Bronagh and Adam will give us an update on the providers. Tina on Automate, Greg on the platform, Alberto on the API, and Chris on documentation. Fine. All right, so in the last 3 weeks, we had 511 pull requests merged across 86 repositories. Although this was a 3-week sprint, many of us were off the last week of December, so the pace was more like a 2-week pace, not a 3-week pace. Next slide, please. So that kind of shows that we're right up above the 500 mark, between 500 and 600 is where we seem to be averaging the last 5 sprints or so. As we're trying to finalize the Print Israeli release, bugs are over half of the pull requests merged. Enhancements are just 13%, and there's some technical debt and some other cleanup that's going on. So pretty expected behavior on an overall perspective. Next slide, please. In terms of the health, I see a lot of red there on the other issues. John, do you want to comment on that? Is that something that
I think it's just we're going to probably stabilize in the next sprint review. And so I wondered about that too. We had the 3 weeks plus we switched over to this new format. So
is this the new format of the issues? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're just switching what we're using as a metric, right, for the other issues.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Okay. So that's why you're seeing all those numbers all over the place. So hopefully that'll stabilize over the next sprint or two. Next slide. Over to Carol.
Thank you, Oleg. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. And so for the community update, we have the Kapindashvili release candidate available for a couple of weeks now. And so we're working on the GA release of Kapindashvili coming up soon. Then for last week in ManageIQ, Aparna did a really nice summary blog post wrap up for the year, looking back at 2017. Starting this year, we will have a new format. We are moving to more of a monthly update, development update blog post frequency. So we have last month in ManageIQ blog posts coming up. I think the first one will be next week by Drew. For the event side, we will have a booth at DevConf. I forgot to put the date. It's end of this month in Brno, Czech Republic. And I'm working on this plan for kind of seeding and promoting local ManageIQ meetups. So I'll share that quite soon. And if you have any ideas or if you know of places who are interested, people, just let me know. And that's all from me. Thank you. And next slide, please.
This is Dan. I'm going to take over for Bronagh. She's having some technical difficulties. So I'm going to talk about providers. Next slide, please. Looks like we had, and this is on the fly, so I apologize. Looks like we had a pretty good, diverse selection of PRs over at Leading the Way, followed by Kubernetes. Next slide. So for Azure, previously when you would do authentication, the region was not mandatory, and what was happening was it would actually validate against a public environment. There are 3 environments that we support: public, gov, and Germany, and eventually China will be added. But now it is mandatory when you do validation. So it's kind of misleading. Another new feature for Azure was previously when you provisioned a VM, you either selected an existing public IP or it automatically created a new one. But now users have the choice of selecting none, which will allow it. It'll have a private IP but no public IP. Next slide. And this, I'm afraid, I cannot speak to.
That's
I don't know if
me,
Adam.
Dan.
All right, go for it.
Thanks, Sam. So for containers, a bunch of changes around metrics. So when you're using Prometheus for your metrics store, we actually are using a new Prometheus gem instead of the more generic Faraday gem for just HTTP. So we have a specific gem for Prometheus now, which is cool. And we moved to using rates for more accurate metrics rollups. So when you're getting metrics on non-aligned boundaries, using rates is a more accurate way of getting that information. So we're reducing some rounding errors there. And we're also associating container events with their pod instead of their container. Since containers are just part of the spec for the pod, this makes more sense and resolves some issues around running policies on these events. Next slide. For OpenStack, they fixed a bug with failing VM provisioning when I think it was an issue where there was no name associated with the cloud volume. Next slide. And for Rev, they had multiple bug fixes around event handling. They also fixed how they were storing IPv6 addresses for a NIC. They were actually duplicating NICs for IPv4 and IPv6 addresses. So now this is more aligned with how the rest of the infrastructure providers do this. And the graph refresh inventory collections were refactored. There are basically a lot of duplications between the default collections in the main repo and the overt repo, so we removed all that duplication. And for VMware, Keenan reduced the number of queries for EMS hostname and metrics capture. So a small change, but a good one. And next slide, and over to Tina.
Yes, good morning. 24 PRs merged this sprint, which isn't bad considering the time. Only a few enhancements I'd like to mention. The Rev team added an enhancement for V2V mass migration, allowing the target source and target storages to be tagged. Therefore, they can use that to determine the destination rather than using a single target for all the VMs. We added some new request types for quota, via migrate, reconfigure, and VM cloud reconfigure request. Next slide, please. We fixed an issue in service provisioning. When you use quota by user, it was failing if the user didn't have an email address specified. So what we did is we changed the code to have the process end earlier and log a message that it wasn't able to continue. The migrate state machine had a few changes, rescued migration error and update statuses, and added the missing 1-minute retry interval. And that's it for automate. Next slide, please.
Okay. On the platform side, we had 20 PRs merged, mainly bugs, no enhancements this go around. So a couple of highlights there. So Joe switched us over to using the unique set size for determining worker memory usage. I mentioned last sprint that we added those into the schema, and then we started to use that. We were using proportional set size, and to repeat what I said last time, that the USS is more accurate for workers when we're working with shared memory. And a couple changes to metering and chargeback. We did a tweak to the calculation for the used hours. Instead of just using hours that actually have a metric, it's metrics that actually have usage values, non-zero values. Makes that more accurate. And he fixed the no method error in chargeback reports. And then a change to the appliance console using GPT as partition table so we can support partitions bigger than 2 terabytes. And that's it for the platform. Alberto?
Yes. Thanks, Greg. For API, we had quite a few bug fixes coming in, but we also had 2 enhancements that come in. First one is by Zahi, where he added support for hash expressions in the alert definitions. So that's, in addition to currently supporting MIQ expression, and there's an example here of a post to alert definitions with the hash expression option. Next slide, please. And next enhancement by Elad, where we're now supporting assigning alert definitions to alert profiles and similar signatures to the other APIs where we have the assign and unassigned actions. And here you can see the resources being sent in by ID or href of alert definitions that we're assigning and unassigning to alert definition profiles. And that's it for the API. Next slide, please.
Hi, on the documentation side for this sprint, we had 9 PRs merged, 4 of which were bugs. We have 5 enhancements. Some highlights: we've added procedures for creating an Ansible playbook custom automate button. We've updated references to PostgreSQL 9.5, updated the MS Azure installation guide with the modifications, added some steps to use the tags expression editor for groups, and updated the group section with its new features. Next slide, please.
All right, and so a very quick conclusion of our sprint review this time around. As we, after we release Gprindashvili in the coming weeks here, I think we'll get more on the regular cycle of more enhancements and more things to discuss. But right now we're stabilizing things. So once that's over and we get the thing out the door, then we will get back to our regularly scheduled meetings. Thanks everyone, and looking forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks.